my horror fans, my horror geeks, my horror freaks? This is Christian Dior Creasy.
I'm Lionel Chapman.
Ira Childs.
Welcome to the Trio of Blood podcast. In today's episode, we are going to give our review of the recent horror slasher called Heart Eyes. Alrighty, so Heart Eyes was directed by Josh Rubin. It's a horror comedy and has a running time of 1 hour and 37 minutes. And it sits currently at the box office at $2,800 million worldwide. All right. And this movie also starred Jordana Brewster. You probably know her from the Fast and the Furious franchise. Devon Sawa. Mason Gooding. Also, you probably seen him in Scream 5 and 6. And Olivia Holt. So, Heart Eyes is directed by Josh Rubin, is a horror comedy slasher about a mass killer dubbed Heart Eyes who kills couples every year during the Valentine's Day season. Okay, So this film follows a desperate but yet ambitious marketing executive, Ali McCabe, and her new romantic lover, colleague Jay Simmons, as they fight for their lives from the killer Heart Eyes. So, and also Mason Gooden plays Jay Simmons, and Olivia Holt plays our lead protagonist, Ali McCabe. All right.
And we all should know who Devin is.
Yeah, we all know who Devin is. Devin, he plays one of the cops.
Right.
Starred alongside Mrs. Brewster.
Yeah.
Or Miss Brewster.
Right.
So we know who these two are, okay?
But do you know what film he should be famous for?
Oh, yeah, the Final Destination.
All right.
Get us off this plane! Get me off this plane!
Yeah. he also did a pretty good job in the Chucky series, too.
Yes, and I definitely have him. And I definitely like him when he did Idle Hands.
Yes.
Huh?
That was a sleeper.
Yes, I love Idle Hands.
Yes.
You know, it's one of my favorite Halloween movies I like to play during the spooky season. You know. So, let's dive right into this movie. So, all three of us saw this movie.
Yeah. Well, I would say the hour 37 minutes didn't seem like an hour 37 minutes.
No.
Me personally, I enjoyed this one. I love the horror comedy elements that they had in this film. I thought it was just going to be like another cheesy slasher film, but it has some heart to it, and you know we'll get into that within this episode.
I was caught in between feelings. You know, the kills were on point.
Okay.
You know, a little too much comedy. Just a little too much. When I went in to see this film, I was thinking, okay, let's have a little My Bloody Valentine. I'm thinking it was going to be a little dark. But overall, it was an enjoyable film.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It didn't, like you said, it wasn't, I didn't feel like it was an hour and 37 minutes. It did have me, the whole movie had me locked in from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because the very beginning, it did set the tone. It did set the tone, and we see a different killer compared to your original slashers, you know, from Jason to Freddy to Michael to Ghostface to Leatherface. Now you have a killer that has hearts as eyes, you know, dubbed as Heart Eyes, which is very clever too and creative. So, yeah, I enjoyed the film. I think, what do you guys think about, I don't know, let's see, the acting, the characters. What about the acting characters in this film? What do you guys think about this? You know,
They were all believable to me. I had no issues with any of the characters. Some of the dialogue was a little cheesy here and there, and I think, I don't know if I want to say it because it'll give away something, but when one of the characters made their phony baloney conversation, I'm like, yep, he's one of the, or he is the, you know what I mean?
It was some things that stood out. You
Yeah.
know, but the chemistry between the two characters, I thought it was
It
believable.
was
Yeah.
believable. Yeah, it was.
I thought the acting was believable. I mean, I can. What made it believable for me because I can relate to Allie and Jay because they both come from uh, backgrounds that they've had failures in relationships. Um, with Allie's character, I think it was with her spoiler alert, her father.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he ended up passing away in a marriage, and that like done it for her. That's why she has no, basically didn't want to stay with a commitment. You know, she had those issues.
Got a wall up.
Yeah, and that's relatable to many people. And it's relatable to a human being too, because we all that. And what else? Also, I think what I believe that was also real, and I can relate to is that she's caught up in her career. She's trying to make a name, and she's a marketing executive. So she's going to the spoiler alert again to throw a pitch, a view, a concept to try to get work. So I understand because she's choosing her career, her goals over a relationship, and she don't want to like split her time. Because when you're in a relationship, your time gets taken, divided or subtracted.
Yeah.
Normally you would spend this many hours doing whatever. Now this part of your time is being, and attention is being devoted to your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife.
Yeah.
So I can relate. So I thought the acting was only thing. My critique was it felt, and this is probably goes with the writing, that the comedy. I thought the comedy was a little bit excessive. Like coming from an actor as myself, we was always taught in training that find the comedy and play the comedy. Normally, your characters that you play in these circumstances don't seem funny. They don't make it seem funny because they not liking it.
Yeah.
It's funny to the audience, but I just felt like some of the parts were like the actors was almost like, I don't know who direction was this, the director or the producers or whatever was forced to
The dialogue before the first kill
was forced,
kinda, yeah, kind of threw me
was
off.
forced, you was forcing the funnies, instead of, and when it does hit, I laugh. Like, for example, spoiler alert, when Allie and Jay was back at her apartment and she's taking off her clothes or a jacket and she goes, open the door to a closet. The killer is right there and she throws something and closes it. She was like, what the fuck? That kind of like plays into it. So it was like funny when it's like actual, like
Yeah.
naturally,
For me, I think at the beginning, the filmmakers kind of set the tone of what you're about to watch.
Yeah.
That is going to be lighthearted in some points, and is going to be horror in another point. And I forgot what I was going after that.
It'll come back to you.
Okay, damn.
But yeah, I think the protagonist did have a compelling arc to her, because you see her battle with the relationships, especially in the scene when her and Jay sat down for a so-called business dinner, because he was brought in to help the company, the marketing company, be successful, because he's a successful freelancer executive himself that helps brand companies. So, and he was just getting a personal level with her, and she was taking it like a relationship compared to the third act when she was actually falling for this guy.
I like how the filmmakers made you feel Jay was part of,
Yeah.
I agree.
especially that.
But it's always the obvious thing. I don't mean to cut you off. It's always the obvious thing. You think it's the love interest or the boyfriend. So yeah.
Yeah.
But
it was the total opposite.
Right. But what I was going to say, I think I forgot the shit again. I think, and I could be totally wrong, but I think the filmmakers were trying to be different with this horror film, as going back to the horror comedy part. I think the horror genre is headed in a direction away from like the Saw era, where it's a lot of blood, guts, and things. So they're trying different, I guess it's tropes to try to revive the horror genre.
Yeah.
We have the thing with Art the Clown, and then you have movies like In a Violent Nature. You see,
Right.
and then you have something like what's that movie? Presence, where the basically the protagonist is the ghost. If you haven't seen that, I'm sorry, but I think they were trying to do the same thing with this, so that's why they started with the comedy, and then went to the horror aspect of the movie.
Right.
And then throughout the movie, it was basically the same thing: comedy, horror, comedy, horror.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just think it's a driving force to try to revive the horror genre.
Yeah, I think so. I know that the antagonist, well, at least one of the killers, spoiler alert, that motherfucker could fight.
Yeah.
The way he was wielding them knives, boy, I was like, oh, shit. This is different, too, because you don't normally see that. Even when you did the Scream with Ghostface, he's not you can tell, this killer has tactical skill, martial arts training. The way he was cutting these motherfuckers up with the knife and battling, parrying, and using using a short edge weaponry. I'm like, damn.
I love the machete with the brass knuckles.
Yeah.
Right. But see, one of the key things you said was Ghostface, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when the latest Scream came out and Ghostface was using a gun, everybody was kind of like, "Holy shit!" Because it's not something you're used to him seeing,
Right.
used to him doing. So that brought attention to that particular Ghostface as to the Ghostface in the past. We just had the knife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what else caught my attention by being Valentine's Day? Cupid.
Yeah.
The theme of Cupid.
Right.
Usually who's ever shot by the arrow falls in love.
Yep.
Yeah.
But this killer had this weaponry like an arrow,
Yeah.
Which was hella creative, because I don't believe I've seen anything like that. Maybe what was that movie with Denise Richards? Valentine's or Saint
Oh yeah,
Valentine's?
yeah.
Where they had like the ceramic mask and the nose was bleeding.
Yep.
That's the only time I've seen like a bow and arrow used as like a weapon.
Weapon.
and it is a little it's like a little hard.
a little knife or
A
something.
little hard, and then it opens
and
up.
expands. Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
some predator type of stuff.
Yeah.
That is dope though.
Yeah.
It was.
I think the direction and the pace of this film, I thought it was spot on because it kept me engaged throughout the film. There wasn't nothing lacking.
Right.
Even when the dramatic parts, they kept me locked in because I was starting to be sucked in
You were invested in these characters.
Even everybody, including Jordana. I think I'm pronouncing her name right. Jordana and Devon's characters, the police, because I was questioning, I wonder who. I bet it got to be one of the cops. That's the killer and their relationship.
Right.
And even the normal cop that was behind the desk. Like I was invested in these. Even the couple that was, spoiler alert again, that was having sex in the back while our two protagonists was hiding from the killer.
Right.
Now see, that was funny. You talking about playing comedy? That was funny and hiding from a killer while you got two hippie
Going at it in the back seat.
going at it in the back seat of a truck. But I thought the pacing was good. It was nothing lacking. I didn't felt nothing was rushed. Besides some of the comedy was being a little excessive. But yeah, I thought it was good. I mean, the dialogue was good. There wasn't
Drive-in was the best part for me.
the driving.
Yes, the
Yeah.
drive-in.
Oh, the driving.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
the
Kinda
drive-in part. Yeah.
Kind of remind me of Freddy versus Jason.
Oh,
The cornfield.
The cornfield.
Okay.
When Jason just was.
Yeah. I say that was one of my favorite scenes. The drive-in.
I would say the directing and the pacing is what, for me, made it feel like it wasn't an hour and 37 minutes.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes you can really feel that shit, and you're like, oh my God, are they still
This shit
talking?
hit you
Oh
like
my
this.
God, when
Yeah.
they gonna move forward? You know what I mean? But I think the directing and pacing of this film really worked to its advantage. It's one of the things that won me over because, like you said, I was vested in these characters. I was vested in this story of
Yeah,
so
and I thought the visual effects was on point.
Yes.
The cinematography, the lighting, the composition was awful. I got the feeling of the season of Valentine's Day.
Right.
I have that sense of a season of love. That's love is in the air, and the hope of love and stuff like that. So, the way it was shot, and this killer plays a good part as a catalyst to that because it's like, nah, fuck love, the opposite of love. Hatred of love. Any couple I would see get it. Kind of reminds me of season 3 in Arrow, if you ever saw it. And it's this killer or the villain called Cupid. She was good, and she was like psychologically screwed up because she had an infatuation with Green Arrow, and she used her bow and arrows and stuff as hearts, like Cupid, like a heart, and it kind of had that feeling going on as a opposite of being that way. But yeah, I thought definitely it was. You can tell it was definitely no CGI.
No, it wasn't.
No.
I like that
No.
first opening scene.
Yeah, the practical effects was on point. Those kills, bro.
Yeah.
I love those kills.
Never get caught in a tight spot.
Yep.
And the cinematography made it built the tension on the horror scenes and the jump scares. So there wasn't just any pointless jump scares. They all kind of had some type of building towards something.
Yeah, and I think as far as the dialogue is concerned with the script, besides everything felt natural. Besides the forced comedy, see, it was just a little too excessive. I know we're gonna keep going back to that, but besides that, I thought everything, like the lines of the actors, was natural. It was organic. The script was well written. Yeah. It was well written and well directed. But other than that, anything y'all didn't like?
I didn't like the reveal.
You didn't like the reveal?
That's the only thing I didn't like. Everything else I loved, honestly.
What was about it? The reveal you didn't like?
Comedy.
Oh, the way they made it funny instead of real serious. Yeah.
That's But like you said, that's what they was at the beginning. They were showing us this type of movie it was going to be. So,
right. They set it up from the beginning to be that way. For me, I don't think it wasn't really anything that I didn't like about the movie. Obviously, all movies have some type of flaws. Mm-hmm. So if I would give it a final grade, it would be like a B plus, a high B plus, just because all movies are flawed in some kind of way. I really enjoyed this one, to really be honest.
Yeah, me too. I'm definitely buying it on Blu-ray or 4K when it comes out on hard copy.
Yeah.
Other thing than that is just the excessive comedy for me, like some of the forced stuff. Other than that,
what do you think are what is one of the highest points of the film for you?
The highest point of the film for me was the drive-in. I thought that was the biggest and most strongest things in the movie. Yeah. That one and the dinner scene with Allie and Jay. I like that because they actually you starting to see Allie's getting deeper into what her past was and her relationship. Because remind you not, she just recently, not too long ago in the film, broke up with somebody.
Correct.
And what set the tone for the killers to go after them too, because when they was leaving, spoiler alert, when they was leaving, she saw her ex and
his new girlfriend.
Yeah, and she didn't want to feel like and that just show you her insecurity too.
Yeah.
And she kissed him. She kissed Jay, and the killers was watching it. Shit.
Oh, okay.
I would say that was to your answer to your question. That was the part that I liked. The reason they was getting chased. You found that why.
Yeah.
In the drive-in.
Yeah,
And it's pure coincidental, and things like that do happen in real life. It's just a coincidence.
yep.
Just like it was a coincidence that Herman went after 3 girls at a party.
It's just a coincidence,
That's all.
But also with that scene too, also send out a message too, because when the killers confronted them, it shit sure looked real. That child, they kept saying throughout the film, "We not together." Shit, it didn't look like y'all not together. That kiss was real.
Perspective.
The chemistry, and
that's what it was. The chemistry.
and deep down, that's why I love it too. Also because she did like him, because you see her battle with herself, the struggle that she did like this guy. She was falling for this guy, and it did show. And the killers were like, "Yeah, you like this motherfucker."
Yeah.
You.
When did you find out who was the killer?
I at least thought it was Jordana's character for one, because the way she was flirting with Jay.
For me, that was a little later, but when they had the confrontation in a police station, the shooting and everything, and then all of a sudden you see the reveal of her.
Same.
Yeah.
Like, damn, what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
because honestly, if that killer really wanted to kill her, he would have took her out. He was that tactical, and we ain't gonna tell you who's the other killer was, but you have to watch the movie.
Sorry we had to say that, but yeah.
You have to really watch, because there was more than two. Put it that way. Spoiler alert. There was, but who? But we're not gonna tell you.
Right.
You have to watch the movie, but yeah,
I love the wardrobe for the killer as well.
yeah, I love the wardrobe throughout. All was very good, especially for the killer. It was very creative. If only because I was thinking, is that human skin he's wearing as a mask with 2 hearts on there?
The rawest part is when
That's
the
a
lights
good
went
question.
out.
Yeah.
The lights went out.
And then
turn
turn
the
on the
eyes
eyes
on.
on. That was
Yeah.
dope.
That was cold.
You had them ultraviolet. You can see through his perspective, like he had them night vision eyes, hard eyes. Boy, I need to give me a pair of those.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That'd be
saying?
a nice costume.
That is a nice costume, and it's creative. So that's why I think now this is what I'm talking about. Instead of Hollywood fucking keep rebooting everything, this is something original. Yeah, it has. You can tell it has other influence from movies. Like that driving scene is probably of influence from Freddy versus Jason. You can probably most likely tell. Just like we all knew that Matthew Reeves' Batman, the Batman, was heavily influenced by Seven. It was shot the exact same way with the lighting and everything. So you can tell, and it was creative. We have a new killer. Weapons of choice is knives is always going to be an awesome choice. I mean, that's never goes get old. Knives. Herman, he has his Krugery, which is unique. But I think being original, very creative, coming up with a original story always will sell and resonate with audience. Doing something different, having a different setting, it can be any genre. It can be
Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be in any genre. It can be action. It can be horror. It can be comedy. It can be drama. It can be mystery and suspense. But having an original story, original idea, something creative that we never seen before, good, because it works. I think this is going to be one of the best ones since My Bloody Valentine in '81.
Yeah.
I think I can put it. I think I can put it up there, at least second to Bloody Valentine '81. Not the original, Not the remake.
I was
I'm
just
sorry.
about to say that.
The original. I'm talking about the original. The original My Bloody Valentine is off the fucking chain. But Hard Eyes, I can put it with that. You know.
As far as like a genre themed horror film, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to go in the slasher category because it is a slasher.
Yeah.
I'm a huge slasher guy.
Yeah.
So any final thoughts on this here film? I give it a B plus.
I give it a B plus as well.
I give it a B.
You went from a C to a B,
I
huh?
went to C to B because overall the
Yeah.
film was a great film. I just didn't like the reveal. It was too much comedy. You know,
Yeah,
it was like we seen it before.
right.
That's how I felt.
I mean, it would have got an A if they would have put some nuts in there.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, go if you have not seen it yet, go check out Hard Eyes. It's still at the movie theaters. It released on I'm not about to say September, February 7th, 2025. It's still playing and it's still over the weekend. I checked the stats. It was still selling like crazy.
Yeah. Over the weekend, I think
over
that's
the
when
weekend.
it reached over 25 million,
Yeah.
28 million.
Yeah. So people still digging it. Go check out Hard Eyes, still at the theaters, and you all know where you can find us at Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.
If you have any questions,
Yes.
send them.
Feel free to comment and tell us what you think of the movie, what you think of any of the movies we did in the past. We definitely love to engage our audience. And speaking of our audience, soon we're going to be doing additional episodes. We're going to be doing them live on YouTube and Instagram. So stay tuned. We got more to come. And this is the Trio Blood Podcast. We are signing off. Stay scary.
Ha ha!